Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Anubis here with a brand new video for you guys today, and welcome to my channel. Do all the things the algorithm likes us. Today we're going to do a little discussion video about Baldur's Gate 3 real quick. In between our little Baldur's Gate Let's Play, we all are enjoying the Baldur's Gate Let's Play. We're about 10 episodes in at the time of recording of this video. Episode 11 is being edited that after this video. We're trying to churn them out, and I'm also going to increase the time of them. We're doing like an hour for the Let's Plays. I'm going to do it to 2 hours, because I feel like potentially it may be better to do 2 hours for a game like this. I've also seen like other creators who are doing Let's Plays for the game. I haven't watched their videos because I don't want to spoil the game for myself, but I'm seeing their time, and it's around the 2 hour mark. So I'm going to be doing that. But again, hope you all are enjoying the Baldur's Gate Let's Play. Please watch those videos, leave a comment, on those videos, and obviously, like the video so those videos can grow and get out there to more people. That's the whole point of liking a video. Is not because you just like the video, but because that's how YouTube decides to push our videos out there to other people, because you are liking those videos. But today's video, like I said, it's about Baldur's Gate. There's been a lot of dramas around the game, so we're going to talk about it. So once again, we have a situation on our hands where developers from across the gaming industry are unhappy with a big, hyped up, successful game release. Previously, developers from EA, Ubisoft, and Guerrilla Games, to name a few, were upset with Elden Ring's success. A game that, reviewed as undeserving because it didn't have a conventional story. It didn't tell a story in a way that which people are used to. The screen wasn't covered up with unneeded text. The UI wasn't, pretty much just word vomit and, directional points. They hated that a game released in the modern gaming industry that almost universally likes to release unfinished games with microtransactions, battle passes, season passes, and drip fed content. Elden Ring didn't have any of those things, and neither does Baldur's Gate. Now, I do have a video talking about the Elden Ring situation, so if you want to see the Elden Ring situation, if you missed it, I'll have it attached to the left or right of your screen. Recently, I posted a very long video about how Destiny 2's general manager spoke to a room full of developers to talk about why it's good to have a live service, why it's good to release unfinished games on purpose. That video, what he said, has become the standard in the gaming industry, and developers do not like it when someone goes against that standard, because it makes us gamers crave complete gaming experiences without microtransactions. It makes us gamers, crave and want finished products. So Baldur's Gate 3, which recently released on PC, will have a PS5 release in a month, and will have an Xbox release once they figure out split screen co-op on Series S. The game is, according to Larian Studios, perfectly fine on Xbox Series X, but the S is having issues, and because of a thing that Microsoft does, a game has to release on both platforms, not one and then another one down the line. Anyways, the game has released with rave reviews, high scores, over 700,000 concurrent players on Steam. Not even the developers themselves expected to have this much success. Larian Studios were expecting a Steam release of about 100,000. They're at 700,000. And probably only going to grow after people find about this kind of situation with developers, as well as the game's popularity increases through people like myself and other content creators who are making content about the game. This has developers mad because once again, a game has released like Elden Ring with no microtransactions, all content in-game at launch, no bloat, no passes, no unfinished launch with plans to fix things later. Just a complete experience for gamers to enjoy the second they start in-game. And when I say this is a complete game experience, a lot of developers will make a video game, cut content, use it as DLC or an expansion. Larian Studios have come out and said they don't even have any plans for an expansion. Obviously things can change down the line, but currently there is no plans for an expansion. That tells you that there was no cut content, which is another good thing. Like, hey, they focused on making the game that exists in front of us right now, and they didn't try to have the development time up to cut out content to make future content. The Baldur's Gate 3 game is a complete experience. It's an old school style video game where you just have this box product video game. It has all the content already within the game, and there is no, we're going to sell the rest to you later, which is a good thing. And again, developers want to hate that. But much like Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3 had years of hype behind it, which also fuels, this belief that some developers have that, this game isn't, an amazing feat, because they don't want people to think that you can just spend X number of years making one game and then put it out and it has all the success. Some developers are even saying that Baldur's Gate 3 is unrealistic. Other studios can't deliver what Larian delivers, which is bullshit. Most AAA developers can deliver the exact same quality with no microtransactions. They choose not to on purpose. Developers from Insomniac, Blizzard, Obsidian have given their opinions on Larian and Baldur's Gate to downplay the game success and downplay the game overall. Some developers have called Baldur's Gate a unicorn game people shouldn't get used to. Some have called it anomaly. Some even said it's like a Rockstar level nonsense for scope. The only comment I've seen from a developer that is warranted is when a developer said that gamers shouldn't expect a studio the size of 20 to 40 people to make a game like Baldur's Gate, which is true. We shouldn't expect that from a studio that small. Those are indie studios. If you're an indie studio, no one's expecting you to put out something like Baldur's Gate, something like a Rockstar game, something like a BioWare game. But newsflash, gamers as toxic and often, silly as they can be, aren't dumb enough to think indie developers, which are studios that are that size, will be able to put out a AAA quality video game. But we do expect the studios the same size or bigger than Larian to be able to put out good finished products, games without drip-fed content, without enough microtransactions that makes mobile games look ethical. 343, just to give you guys a comparison of a scope compared to Larian Studios, who's only about 400 developers in size. 343 is bigger than Larian by 50. There's like 450 people working for 343 at time recording this video. Larian Studios again has 400. And look at what Halo Infinite was. This is 343 is a bigger studio, worse quality game. Bungie, again, we're going back to Bungie, who they did watch a video I posted before about how the gentleman from Bungie talked about the best ways to basically manipulate video gamers. Bungie has 1,552 employees. Blizzard has about 13,000 employees as of 2022. 20,000 people work for Ubisoft. 12,900 work for EA. Insomniac has 520. CD Projekt Red, who had that really buggy Cyberpunk release, but it put out that amazing Witcher game, has 1,111 developers. For record, From Software has 397. City Entertainment has a little over 200, and again, Larian Studios, who made Baldur's Gate 3, has 400. And Rockstar, who Larian was compared to, again, the developers said Rockstar level of nonsense scope, has 2,000 employees. So, taking all that into account, Larian Studios is a smaller studios than all these developers who are complaining about, putting out an unrealistic video game that will get gamers thinking that they can have this high quality from studios that are bigger than Larian. So no, AAA studios don't have an excuse on how they release games. They can put out similar quality games as the smaller studios at Larian. They just don't, because releasing unfinished games with microtransactions has a better profit margin. It's not hard to understand that if you just make a good game, people will buy it and play it, that streamers will stream it, and YouTubers make content surrounding that video game. Free advertisement, if you will. Developers will still make a profit regardless of that. It's just that it is doing it with live service makes even more money than doing out live service. Why make a 10% in profit increase when you can make 40% over long periods of time? That's how their marketing team sees it. Remember, EA themselves say that single player games don't make money, and then proceed to start making single player games because, well, they started making money when they realized that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn Entertainment, was successful. So EA was like, well, guess we're wrong about single player games because Star Wars is successful, so let's make more single player games. Developers should be encouraged to make games like Witcher 3 and Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3, because games like those, games like The Last of Us, Skyrim, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and many others will be played for years. And we know that because those games are still being played today. They were released on PS3 and 360. People are still playing those games, now. Those games are being viewed as masterpieces. But these live service games, they will be dead when the next installment comes out. When the next game comes out, no one will care about the previous game because those previous games are live services are going to get shut down. It will be abandoned when gamers see something else to hold their attention. Live service games have a shelf life, which is why they try to milk as much money as possibly can. All those games I mentioned before, those single player games, some co-op games as well, those games that become instant classics, those games will be being played in 20 years by people. Hell, a lot of those games that I just named, when it comes to like Last of Us, Skyrim, Mass Effect, they got re-releases. where they weren't like fully remade. They just like, hey, here's another version of Skyrim for Xbox Series X and PS5. Here's Mass Effect Legendary Collection, where we just kind of just made the game run better, and that's it. Didn't really change anything about it. Do you want to buy it again? And people did, because people like good video games. If you make a good video game, people will play it. Most of these AAA studios are large enough to make single player complete games, co-op games, and live service games, but choose not to. They can do all of them. They can do all of those genres of game styles, but choose not to because live service just makes more money and requires less work and less effort. So that's pretty much it for today's video. And that's kind of what the gaming drama is currently. And people developers are upset that another game has released that, you know, isn't some game that has cut content and drip fed content and microtransactions where you can, you know, buy level skips or, you know, increase your XP gains and things like that for a single player game. You look at your Ubisoft has a habit of putting, you know, those kind of like shortcuts in Assassin's Creed games where single player games. But yeah, so these developers are upset that, you know, there is an ethical, good development studio out there like Larian Studios who cares about putting out a good product, cares about putting out a good video game, and not thinking about making that extra buck that they can. They just want to, you know, make a video game, hope that we all like it. They hope they do make some money off of it, and they are. And you know, it goes back to that saying of making good games and making games that they want to play. Larian wants to play their own games, which is why all their games are classics. You know, it's not just Baldur's Gate 3 that's this massive success for Larian. Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2 are considered amazing RPGs within the gaming community. So Larian is just hitting it, you know, out of the park again with another big title from them. Currently, Larian Studios, to use the baseball term, they're batting 500. Everybody else, when it comes to the majority of the industry, are pretty much at that 150 range, and you know, they might be getting DFA'd if they don't change their shit up. Looking at you, Bungie. You know, Bungie's already getting DFA'd by some Destiny players. So you know. But anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Do all things algorithm lights. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Follow me on Twitch. Link in the bottom below. I also have a link tree out there where I have video links to all my other channels. I have a sport channel where I upload once a week. It's all about sports. I have a reaction channel if you want to recommend reaction. Anyone who's subscribed on Twitch can recommend a reaction video. Anyone who is a donator or a member of the Patreon can recommend a video for reactions and all that good stuff. And again, all of that is, when it comes to links, it's in the link tree, all there for your pleasure. But I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the Baldur's Gate Let's Plays. I'll be boy Noobs. I'll catch you guys when I see you. Y'all stay safe, be kind to one another. I'm out of here. Deuces.